for the next couple days. General energies for the next couple days. The Foundation card, starting point. 8 of Pentacles. Being an apprentice at something, new at something, working hard, covering all your details. Or it could be the 8th house, or 8 days, 8 weeks, 8 months, anything if 8 is significant to you. But it's covering all your details, making sure, like, reading between the lines, looking for details, looking for little signs, clues, maybe just sort of making sure everything is covered, I guess. I mean, it's pretty. Chariot's on the bottom. This is about having some sort of victory or success with something, successfully reining in 2 opposing or opposite things, perhaps opposite, like, choices or decisions at work or people, or just sort of bringing 2 ideas together, figuring out the right way to go with something. So probably something having to do with work, or maybe choosing between 2 options with work, or something having to do with things of the 8th house, or an earth sign, maybe someone who's just caught up with work, or busy at work, learning something new, taking on a new hobby or something. Would be Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. So maybe you or someone you know, just embodying these sort of, get to work, get down to work attitude, and or maybe like going back to school, learning something new. I always think of it more as like an actual, like, vocational craft or something like that. But just hammering out the details, maybe commuting to school, or the 7th, or just having, some sort of spiritual guidance, or just feeling like you've won the game, maybe, just victorious in that sense. It could mean something very much just like a basketball game or something, and your team won, and maybe you were wondering, or you were, I don't know, betting on that or something. Strength card. Further clarity for 8 of Pentacles and 7, Chariot, Cancer, maybe also, so, or the Moon, transits to your 8th house, maybe, and whatever sign you have there. That's often what Chariot means, is transits, so, maybe the Moon. I'm not sure what the Moon is in actually right now. I'll have to look. Oh, maybe our sign. Capricorn, maybe. This is the Devil. Just freeing yourself from some sort of something that's making you feel like restrained, or held captive, or some sort of vice, or even a relationship, or work. Since we are talking a lot about work and maybe commuting and just feeling like constrained by your daily life, and all the things that you have to get done, or just the wanting to maybe just get away and break free from the daily commute and the work grind, just getting away for the weekend and just letting loose. Or this could just be a Capricorn, or it could be the Moon in Capricorn. I'll have to check where my phone is actually. I'm not sure. So it could also mean that you find someone attractive, maybe someone attractive at work, since sort of like at work, or maybe going home from work, being tempted to go out instead of going home when you need like rest or something, just something like that. Or travel for work. Maybe you're going somewhere. Oops. Yeah, together they make 15, so maybe that may be also what I was about to say when that flew out. So it's having options and choice as well. Maybe with how you see your career going or where you see it going, what sort of direction you take. Be the 10th house as well, since Capricorn is the original ruler of the 10th house. So maybe just how you see yourself coming through or delivering at work. Maybe some news is coming through as well. Maybe a promotion or something like that. Maybe you feel stuck though, or something with work and not sure how to move things forward with your career. With what you like to do in your spare time, maybe making like an extra income maybe from what you do in your spare time. Getting by, or something having to do with an apprentice, like again maybe just like going to school and like student loans or something like that. That make you feel like constrained or something. Further clarity. Just moving ahead from what's been holding you back, maybe within career, or seeing something with new eyes or new perception. Like this is the 9 of Pentacles and the 3 of Swords. So it's interesting combination. Maybe being sometimes I also think of the 3 of Swords, even though it often means heartbreak or heartache or something, being disappointed by something, or like a breakup. But it can also mean like all the different air signs, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius, making up a grand air trine, also thinking about shapes and all that. So, and 3 and 9, being 12 again, and that's what those add up to. So coming down to a 3, and that's art and creativity, or 3 days maybe. 3 ideas, 3 people, 3 ways of communicating, 3 ways of seeing yourself, 3 generations, maybe. Sometimes this card kind of reminds me of generations and just legacy or something like that, like grandmother, or just having gone through different stages in life, coming out as being successful and independent, and feeling like you have it all. Can mean all of it. Like, yeah, just sort of, I don't know, earth and air. So maybe just the 9th house, or, just depending on how it means for you, like the way that it came out, it could be the 6th house, but just having maybe a lot of mental activity clouding up your mind, or feeling sort of also like nonchalant, or just happy, content with where you're at, or what you're doing in your environment, like enjoying your space. maybe free from something, um, or just being independent after some sort of breakup, or maybe from someone who's a Capricorn, or after like moving on from like, I don't know, work, some sort of form of transportation, something, maybe tempted to go somewhere, or maybe after work, or tempted to go do something that you're not ready for or comfortable with, or just breaking free from the rut, or the I guess like sort of like the mundane, just wanting to break out of the routine. The routine is what I'm looking for. And Capricorn, like, be very much like routine oriented. So, and just feeling like, even though you had to like maybe break another commitment to do that, to like sort of feel comfortable, to like regain some sort of sense of, or come to some sort of completion or understanding in your mind with how you feel about something, you needed to do that. So, or it could just be like someone in your life through generations, inheritance. Maybe on your mother's side. Five of Pentacles. So this is being maybe stranded, or maybe something having to do with the car, like having to walk to a gas station, if you run up, making sure that you have everything you need before you go on a trip or something. But this could just also be like finding a place that you can go in and like feel some sort of change. So it's kind of about how you look at it. There's some sort of change at work, or change just coming into your daily life, like it could be this, something that has to do with the way that you perceive the situation, and like, are you going to, which direction are you going to go into, and are you going to, and sometimes just mean like leading the way or following also, or like going somewhere, going away, changing your mind on something, changing how you do something, or how you move forward, or changing your views on something, maybe. Or 5 days, the number 5, fifth house, creativity, perhaps, how you see your creativity, how you understand or look at creativity, the different forms of it, different ways that you can see something, perception, embracing change, though, I think also, if there is something that comes in, maybe unexpected, or maybe something having to do with the home or creativity or something like that. Or it could just mean something very mundane, like 5 letters or 5 months of a, maybe May, or something like that is important to you. But, or maybe like, I just thought of like Chanel number 5, or, so, anyways, maybe I'll move on to a different deck. Further clarity on the next couple days for victory. 6, or maybe 9, but it could go a lot of different ways for a lot of different people. Some sort of like people following, celebrating you. You feel the support, maybe at home, maybe at work, but in any case, you're like bringing home some sort of parade with you, like a victory, and just feeling good with what you've done. Maybe just coming home after a successful day, like tomorrow will be a really good day for you. That'd be great. But it could just be, it has something to do with fire energy, so also maybe having like a fire sign in your 6th house, or 6 weeks, six something or other. Not just feeling victorious, but also like not resting on your laurels. Like it's kind of halfway there. It's kind of what it means. But finding new sparks of inspiration along the way, even when you feel good about something that's happened. Always like still, I don't know, remembering what got you there, or even just embracing the process. I don't know. Victory. It's also Jupiter and Leo, so yeah. Or maybe fire sign in your 5th house, or so a lot of that creative abundance of creative energy, inspiration, ideas overflowing, just sort of like feeling like you have a lot to work with and you're going to go far, you're going to go places or something. Or just feeling like something's worked out, like a project or something. So, further clarity, next couple days, general energies. This is affecting people. Another 6 though, so also a 5 and a 9. So, I don't know. 1965, 1969. Further clarity or insight into what can perhaps be expected for highest and greatest good of everyone the next couple of days. Again, 3 of Swords, so that must be some sort of, that must be important, some sort of getting to the point, or again, maybe like heartbreak or blocking like love from coming in, just some sort of something that hurts, but it just kind of depends on how it works out for you. I mean, there's 2, so maybe 2 people are involved that are feeling heartbroken, or maybe misunderstood as well, or it's Saturn and Libra, so again, maybe something having to do with work, something that's balanced but maybe feels unfair, or maybe, could also be relieved, or just maybe again 3 days. It doesn't have to be, sometimes just be very literal, like get to the point. Yeah, so it's very like, I don't know, petals and smoke, and a combination of smoky petals and layers of ruffles and some sort of landscape, topographical landscape map from above, heights, shards of glass, also looks like some sort of lantern, or I don't know, just layered of circles layered over each other, just little, visuals that pick up on, even though I know that's maybe just a gray day. Maybe it's not going to be very sunny tomorrow. Be that, The bottom is a 7 of Wands, so defending your position, but this deck has different connotations, so this also has to do with Leo and Mars and Leo, so being very gung-ho with your creative nature, or having to progression, 6 to 7, and this again could be very detailed and precise about something. Doesn't have to mean sorrow, just mean very I think of very precision, cutting something to a T, very, it's like white glove treatment, and the white petals. It always itches when I do these. Maybe some sort of, some sort of memory though also maybe that sort of hurts your heart, or 3 times, 3 wishes, 3, maybe 3 heartbreaks, or 33. It's a master number, so it's also a gateway. It's another choice, an option, a door that you could go through, an idea to follow. Being presented with a new idea, maybe feeling victorious, and then having to sort of, take the higher ground or something like that. Also, if you are in conflict at work maybe, or in love, just sort of taking the higher ground. Not being defensive, really, making sure that, the fight's worth it, I guess. Just sort of, but it could be also defending your position, and maybe you feel like you have to do that. But it's also seeing something from a different vantage point. So, also thoughts and feeling even though you're still maybe having to deal with some other things going on around you, you are still staying above the current or something, you're managing, very managerial position, or the moon. So this is about your emotions and feeling connected maybe to your mother, or maybe just cycles. The moon just feeling very intuitive, and could also be memories and reflecting on things from the past, feeling sensitive, or nurturing. It really kind of depends on where you have the moon and how you portray or not, show your emotions, or just how they, works out in your life, how you are with emotions, and whether or not you, some sort of line, level, 2 different worlds. I think of Asgard and the Midgard, and just watching something on Norse mythology earlier, but this could be this is on the bottom, art. So making your emotions into art, creating through memory, through the mixtures of experience and memory, and of what moves you and what you feel drawn towards, and just magnetic chemistry, I think of as well. 14 and 18, or 5 and 9, again 14 and 5, some sort of also change and process of change, process of creation, a process of becoming maybe a woman, or I don't know, you know what I mean, just also growing up, or just feeling really in touch with maybe your feminine side, letting emotion and intuitive instinct and your higher mind and those kinds of things, just feeling very moved and led maybe by your intuition. letting that be your guiding force in what you are creating or how you are looking at a situation and balancing a situation. Maybe balancing two ways of looking at something, or two different agendas I just thought of as well, or two different people, or like job tasks, or just trying to find that balance, that kind of like that horizon, or that level point where things are just flowing easily and working smoothly together, or people are working smoothly together, or emotions are flowing smoothly together, and you are feeling like, yeah, you're just in sync with the tides, with how you feel and how maybe with your process, with how things come to be, with that's what, whatever's going on around you, or maybe just feeling connected through emotions with someone else, maybe, or your moon sign's important, or Sagittarius, Pisces. Both are ruled by Jupiter, so again, a lot of creative energy, magnetic pull, and push and pull. It's opposites coming together. It's those magnets. It's Isis and Osiris. It's beginning and, maybe even just, it's, can also be being a little bit deceptive, or coming to some sort of understanding, or seeing light, or seeing something clearly, like maybe if you are working on something, like how to move it forward, what the next step is, or paying attention to lunar cycles, paying attention to just shifts in emotion and what that, patterns for you, maybe, or like the moon, how does the moon actually really affect your emotions if you are interested in something like that. But it's, changing maybe your perceptions on something and how you look at something, or seeing something clearly for the first time, maybe seeing someone clearly for the first time, and having just a very sort of gentle touch, ability to create art, mixture of two things, fire and water, Scorpio and Leo, the eagle and the lion, just two opposites again. So maybe you feel like someone is that for you, or you feel pulled again with the chariot from before, like pulled in two different directions within two different areas of your life that you really enjoy and want to pursue, but having to find that middle ground. I always like the colors here, and it always reminds me of Georgia O'Keeffe on the bottom there, and just maybe New Mexico, or wasn't that where she, or any of those southwestern states that are so, so pretty. Such great places to go and visit. Maybe cooking, baking, the moon, just embodying that sort of like feminine energy that's very, maybe even somewhat seen as traditional, but just having a very like nurturing touch, to how they present themselves maybe as well. Sort of being very in touch with your emotions and how you feel about a situation maybe too, that or thing that you're working on. So I'm just not happy with what's going on here. So anyways, see if there's anything else. Seven of Pentacles, looking after something, waiting too long for an opportunity to jump on something, or maybe taking your time with something, really looking something over, wondering like when your hard work will pay off. I think like harvest as well. Hangman, just sort of taking time out, a break, listening to some music, meditating, also having to do with art and creativity, reducing down to a 3, so 12, 3. I mean, yeah, or Chiron, or yeah, it's kind of brutal, but it is very like symbolic imagery. So, how are you? This is lust, and I also think of it now as lust for life. So, being in control of, tapping into your baser instincts, but also being in control of them, like your, especially like creative urges, or just. I also saw something on the Yellow Emperor, or someone who rode like some sort of horse with 8 legs. I think it has like 7 or 8 heads. I don't know. It just sort of reminded me of this card, and just again finding that like level, being in control, and using your mind, your creative spirit, taking care of something. Also, sometimes it just, in this deck, it has more of a like sexual connotation. Other decks, it has more of like a princess found a lion in the forest and like tamed it. So it's like different perceptions on it. And I always kind of think of having a pet too, or like Beauty and the Beast, or that kind of thing. Fairy tales. Just there's my little cat sitting there. Reining something in, reining in your, this could be Leo, or, so it's 11, so another gateway, deciding to walk through the door, or follow through with something, deciding or not to, losing control a little bit, maybe, just taking a time out to think about it, and then maybe reflect and create art from it. Just being resourceful, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I could do like some sort of oracle card here. So maybe something having to do with music. Also, I think of like being young and alive. Just, I don't know, going out, having a fun time, going to like a mixologist bar, or staying up all night, and maybe also with the Six of Swords could also mean like a birthday party, or so yeah, being young and like thinking about like old birthday parties. Think of like this one birthday party I had where it was perfect timing, because like my birthday is in November, and so it's usually right around Thanksgiving, so it's like a sore subject. People were never around to go to like birthday parties growing up, so then I would make like a big deal of it later on, but we were able to get everyone at my birthday party into this like new club that had opened in Meatpacking, and because like the city was like, kind of empty, but it was such a fun night, actually. I remember like everyone knows my drink of choice is gin martini, and so it was just like everyone was just very generous, and I remember starting like a conga line and having a dance off with someone, and then there's this was such a funny story. I'm sure they won't mind if they were to ever come across this video. And C's Ansari was like hitting on my friend, and he, I think, wanted her attention. She was hanging out with me, and so he was like, "Hey, do you want to meet my friend? He's in the IAS." And I'm not trying to like name drop here, but I love I loved the IES at the time, so I was very, very excited. But the only thing that I think I talked his ear off about was I was at FIT at the time, so I was in this structured draping class and making jacket after jacket after jacket, and very time consuming. So all I could talk about was my jackets that I was making at school for like out. I mean, I think I talked. He was very quiet, but very nice to oblige this conversation. That I was very excited about my jackets, and then I think he came back with all of my my friends, my roommates, and I proceeded to show him all of my jackets, and then proceeded to try to locate a pizza place that was open at like 5 a.m. And I think he finally got bored and left, but he was nice enough to give us a ride home in his limo. So it turned out to be a very fun. Anyways, you can never cross the ocean unless you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. Christopher Columbus. Columbus Crossing the Atlantic by N.C. Wyeth, 1927. So getting somewhere, having the courage to go somewhere, walk through that door of an idea, or a story, or a narrative. And this getting out of your head and just like feeling free, getting out of some sort of like mental prison or something that's keeping you feeling stuck, or usually some sort of self-imposed prison or something, but it's also like feeling a little bit in the dark and having to like feel your way through something. So just using your mind and your intuition and letting that guide you to figure your way out towards something. And on the bottom was the Eight of Pentacles. This came up in like the last reading. So, until you try, you don't know what you can do. Henry James, Van Gogh, Painting Sunflowers by Paul Gauguin, 1888, Van Gogh Museum, Amsterdam, Netherlands. So yeah, actually I was just watching something on the Vikings, and really, I've always been like interested in Norse mythology and like looked into a lot of those things, but also some of my family's from like Sweden, so I was just always thinking it was like cool linkage, but seeing how far they would travel and where they kind of just went everywhere in these boats, I just kind of thought also of, I don't know, I think I mentioned Norse mythology in like another reading, and the Netherlands came up. It's not really part of but yeah, art in motion, I think of as well. Someone painting, some sort of meta art. Columbus, having the guts to go somewhere, not knowing what is on the other side, or if there is another side, really just, having the guts to do something that is completely uncertain or not guaranteed, but you never know unless you try, is kind of what I think it's saying, and just forging your way across. Another 8-8, so it's having like double strength, I think of as well, or extra infinity. Double your pleasure. To find like an old double mint commercial. Embracing your hobbies maybe, or just feeling more, again, Eight of Pentacles, that came before Eight of Discs, so really learning your craft, really learning about something, really diving deep into the details of something, like not just, I don't know, like really seeing about like the construction of something, or knowing like little techniques and things that make something its best, elevates its quality, really thinking outside the box, seeing things in a different way about the details of something, or just making sure all your I's are dotted, T's are crossed, or if reading into the details maybe, or like maybe not enough, not seeing all the details, seeing why something is there or why you've been presented with that, or missing something also can go both ways. But I don't know, I think of also Seven of Pentacles and Eight of Pentacles. It's about taking your time, or sometimes taking, just really thinking about time, also like pondering time, pondering seasons, like really thinking about how things grow and cycles, evolution, creative evolution, how things develop. So like behind the scenes sort of construction details again, just all taking care of all those things, taking care of like taking care in doing all those things, where maybe not being aware can also mean not being aware of how long something takes to perfect, or how long something, how much you've worked on something, or being very aware of how long it took you, because you never want to have to do it again, or something like that. But just also like 8 levels maybe. So 8 levels of something. So also I think of like sort of project. I did layered cake because it looked like layered cake. But 3 stages of something, and just the 8 different levels and the cycles, the alchemical, kind of like the temperance card from before, the alchemical cycle. So that's why there's always 8, and I called it octuple entendre. There's 8 ways of looking at something, kind of like a structure of a building, where if you can recognize the main structure of something, the main elements, foundational points, each layer is going to have that, but it's going to look, completely different in aesthetic, or maybe layout or something, but being able to recognize something. So as you go, it kind of, there is some sort of level of understanding, or being able to make sense of where you're at, or where to go, and how to like get around that floor. Levels in a video game as well. Just thinking really outside the realm of what is typically told to you as normal, or is, or just really thinking of suspension of disbelief. Sometimes I think of as well the hangman. I mean, quite literally suspension of and hanging. Not to whatever, but suspension of disbelief. Letting your mind go there for a second so that you can imagine new realms of possibility, really just not imposing any sort of interference of that's not possible, or that's not that, or that couldn't be, just really thinking for a second what it could be, what you want it to be, and just letting your mind go there, and then reining it back in. Structured jackets also. So just going in a quite like Chanel theme, like making me think of jackets I was so obsessed with at the time. And actually that teacher, I think he had mentioned that he like worked on developing a school or something with Karl Lagerfeld. So when I'm thinking of the fashion industry in tarot, I kind of assign like the Hierophant is Vogue, and sometimes Dior, sometimes Karl Lagerfeld is the Emperor. Just different ways of identifying. Five of Wands. The wisest men follow their own direction. This came up before, so this is very creative, having a lot of ideas overlapping and constructing something new from that. Somewhat confusion sometimes, being a game, competition, getting clear directions on how to make something become what you want it to be, or the fifth house, or 5 people, 5 ideas, all kind of converging, and just some sort of change, though, some sort of, this is the Knight of Wands, so this is again another fire sign. The real voyage of discovery lies not in finding new landscapes, but in having new eyes, so again, new perceptions, and this is The Marine by Edward Villard, 1906. So pretty. I like those colors. Again, from the moon before, just very serene. Peaceful. Yeah, so just going for a stroll on the beach. Just clearing your head, I guess. You're thinking about it, wanting to be creatively inspired by your travels to some sort of beach destination, and just spending time, I don't know, think of south of France, or here as well, but also somewhere maybe where it's like Maine or something, northeast. You're going somewhere, short distance trip for the weekend, thinking about it for the next couple days. Yeah, some sort of sunny, breezy day. Or, yeah, Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries. So maybe it's you and someone you know. Again, with like art and maybe the fifth house. And Leo, and an abundance of Jupiter and Leo, Mars and Leo. Discipline, maybe, also, with the Saturn and the Libra, and finding balance and discipline within your creative endeavors, and feeling your way through something with the moon and Pisces, and being flexible, letting change come in as it needs to. That's what it could be in as well. 5 of Pentacles, again, like going inside, or just feeling like you found a place that you call your home, your own, or something. Feeling like you have it all. Yeah, the 3 of Swords, so maybe not, it can go both ways, so it can mean maybe not feeling like you have it all. Because maybe something hurt you, or was like restricting you, or you need to get away, or you need to like just free your mind and like go somewhere and get some clarity on your own, work things out on your own. Like 5 of Pentacles, or 5 of Wands, and also 5 of Pentacles, like work things out on your own. First, just gain some clarity and sort of rein things in on how you feel about some things, so you can approach like this, like approach something more clear-headed, so getting some perspective and working hard, doing things right from the get-go. And we're just maybe 885. But just following your own inner guidance, your own intuition, your own, seeing what little things like make you look twice, or make you like think, I don't know, something maybe a little bit out there as well. Being open to things that are a little bit maybe just hidden, or unclear, or a little bit of a mystery, or you just don't really know, much about. So pursuing those things as well, if they spark a little interest in you, if they spark any sort of curiosity also. This guy, for whatever reason, kind of reminds me of like Einstein. So he was so curious, like following those curiosities, those things that make you want to learn more, know more. And again, maybe like it's both by the water, but they are both fire. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, maybe feeling cooled or calmed by being near the water, relaxed. I think most people do, but maybe that is just, a good suggestion for how to really unwind, But yeah, so I hope this was helpful. Have a great next couple days. Bye.